Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Practice. I forget which one this is. What are we on? 18? We're on episode 18. As we are calling it in our human physical present, we are the distilled remainder of the group. Highly concentrated, well marinated. Remain. We are the act.
Tastefully seasoned.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you all for joining us in all the different places that you're all out there listening and watching. It's great to have you. We are, of course, I bet that's Sonia. No, it's not Sonia. It's Misty. Hi, Misty. Welcome to the class, Misty.
Thank you.
This is Misty Hughes, long-term friend and patient, fellow reflector of light. So we're going to start off. We have a wonderful performer again. Greg is going to perform for us. You came and Pam. Wow, we get to do up. All right. So are you standing, seated?
We'll just sit right here. It's just natural.
Okay. Somebody else coming in? Hello. How are you? Welcome. Well, here we go. You're a hard act to follow. So we're going to go ahead and put it down. Here you go. Start by reviewing last week's class. Now it is enough for you to be present and prepared to love unconditionally. You no longer need to judge anything or anyone. Your only tool is unconditional love, acceptance for all parts of yourself and everyone else, and it is enough. Compassion is the only state of being you will have available when you see others resisting life's divine order. Yet you won't blame them for getting in their own way. As always, we do not judge ourselves or others. We honor where they are. Now we treat ourselves and others lovingly and compassionately. Focus points. Self-care is an integral part of the practice. If we neglect ourselves, the heightened awareness we've been given will guide us to what we need to do in order to truly surrender to living the practice. When we become aware of dysfunctional habits in our lives, living the practice is what allows us to outgrow them, have compassion for those who experience similar struggles. Compassion for ourselves as well as for others occurs when we have a dawning awareness of how we incarcerate ourselves, so that we can move from awareness into action. When death ends a lifetime that wasn't rooted in the practice, life brings about opportunities to learn from the past lessons and provide a peaceful disconnection to lifetimes in which we were not as conscious. Lifetimes in which in some form or another, we were in some form or another incarcerated by our own selves, by our own unconsciousness. As I developed my intuition, released feelings, and moved into a state of being, I now see everything as God, and all of it is good. It was always God and all good. Remember, each of us in a field of God life, each of us is in the field of God and life, and we are all a field of God. It was the end of that quote. Reflection questions. Oh, and so is everything else. Reflection questions. What lifetimes have died and are no longer in existence in my consciousness? In what ways am I a different person since I've begun and have been practicing? Anybody? Anybody have a sense of a way of existence, a way they used to see the world, a way they used to experience it that is no longer the same as it used to be? Anybody?
Seeing my life as being alone and needing someone else in my life and not happening in that life.
Yeah, it does. Anybody else?
I experience upsets in my life and see the miracle in the middle of them. And it used to be that my brain would be going and my emotions would be there. And last week, a lot of people know my radiator blew. And all I saw was the miracles on how it unfolded. And that's very different from me.
So in a moment that would have normally been surrounded or signified chaos, you were able to see the order and the miracles that happened from it. That's, you can't put words to that. That's miraculous. And you were able to see that in the moment it was happening for the most part. You didn't have to wait until days later or weeks later. You
No,
were able to.
Angels kept showing up.
Wow.
You know, my radiator blew and I came out of this road after I turned around. And there was a Midas muffler. It's always been there. Monroe muffler, sorry. It's always been there. I never paid attention to it before. And when I drove up to it, he pulled up my license plate. He said, "You're in my computer." And I said, "I'm not in your computer." He said, "No, you're in my computer. I can give you a discount. You're in my computer." I have no idea how I got in his computer except for God.
There you go.
We're actually being requested to speak up a little bit.
Okay. Awesome. So we're actually getting some feedback from the studio audience.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they're not talking to me because my mouth is always more than loud enough. all the rest of you.
Can I say something? Sorry.
Of course.
I think too, for me, it's just become so clear that in this lifetime I'm meant to change the patterns that have been repeated. So where it's been repeated over and over again, I'm truly here to change that pattern. And that's in that art level of consciousness.
Awesome. Yeah, she's, Zara is, just, as all of us, is just to continue to go through a wonderful transformation and enter into brand new conscious incarnation of what the life experience can truly be like. And, you can start to understand the words that I've said before where I say I could have never even imagined that this level of experience could be possible. So it was beyond a sense of choice to choose it, because you can't choose something you don't even believe is possible. You are brought into an experience that you become aware of. And in that awareness, you realize its possibility and its existence. And so that's the experience that you're starting to have as well. And it's something that you can just be grateful for. Same thing for you. You could have never thought that you could choose to have your radiator glow up and see angels all around it.
Who knew?
Be in the computer and who knew, right?
Who knew?
Yeah,
I
who
mean,
knew?
I told people last week it's the best horrible experience I've ever had.
In what situations can I apply compassion either to others who are in the practice, who are practicing, or to myself, especially if I am doing my best to break free of reactionary patterns that may cause suffering? Am I able to see my progress as this process continues? Okay, in what situation? It's funny, like we ask these reflection questions, and they're very well thought out, and then as we read them, it's almost like, in what situation can't I? In what situation can't I, be more compassionate, be aware of it? It's every moment. It's every moment as you realize that it's the moments you can't imagine are going to happen. It's the moments where you're surprised. It's the moments where you're facing something significant. It's the insignificant moments when you're in traffic, and how many of you are finding yourself doing this more frequently now, where you're in traffic and there's just somebody trying to get in, and you're just naturally the one that stops and just kind of, whatever. What's the difference going to make? Let's help all the little red blood cells get into the artery and go where they need to go. You know what I mean? Let's be a part of the solution, not a part of the one that says, no, I'm going to be somewhere a second sooner, and in trying to be somewhere a second sooner, I'm going to miss the opportunity to be compassionate. It's like, wow, why would you ever give up a second instead of being compassionate? It's like simple. It's a no-brainer, really, right?
And there's a quote, and I'm not sure if it's seen enough on, but it's be the water. And it's such a great visual, just be the water, because the water just flows around things that are in its way, but it doesn't stop the water. It's
Right.
It's a wonderful quote.
It is.
And even simple things like standing in line and writing down. I'll try and think of the gift that's forcing me to wait. It's a gift to be still.
That's right.
Rather than stand there and go, it's a gift.
Yeah. Opportunity to learn patience.
Yeah.
Keith.
I just thought of something that never really occurred to me before. When I'm in traffic, sometimes I let people in if I think it's, work or whatever. And other times I tend to not do that because it can cause more confusion. And it's almost like I could be forcing my kindness on others or something. But whatever, it just occurred to me that even if I do make what I would consider to be a wrong decision and force my kindness and be over nice, it still doesn't make a difference ultimately.
Right.
And so, what's the issue?
Right. Yeah, there is none, right? In what circumstance, situation, person, etc., can I allow myself to witness God's presence in my life? What circumstance, situation, person, can I allow myself to witness God's presence? Yeah. So, as a reflection of God, okay, the reflection of God is in all things, okay. In what situation could you witness God's presence in another person? So, who can think of a situation? Well, the the easy example of this would be just talking about Carla and Andy. Okay, when they were getting married this weekend, you know, and they were saying their vows together, and that was just, they were just witnessing the pure reflection of God in the other individual that they were having. And that's, I mean, I can't think of a better example than that. And that was, and do you have, would you be willing to post your vows?
Absolutely.
Carla wrote all of her own vows for her wedding. She wrote all that, and I think it'd be really great to post those if
Okay.
you're open to that.
Yeah.
You obviously, you said them publicly, but.
I wrote the whole ceremony, so I
Yeah.
don't know, do you want the whole
Yeah,
thing,
I think
just
it'd
the
be
vows?
great.
Okay.
Just put it all out there.
Okay.
Because the way she wrote it, the place she wrote it from, I just think it'd be great for you guys to read it. It was really, it was beautifully written. So if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Andy, you as well?
It's fine.
I mean, you guys did it in front of everybody, but I know
That's
that
right.
it'd be great to share it. Good. So, how are we gonna have our class tonight? What does everybody wanna do? Does somebody have something that they really wanna bring up? Does someone wanna go through the book, Andy?
I got something that relates to be antsy. And then I work with a lot of teenage boys, which in itself is interesting. But I noticed, well, I didn't notice it right away, but I was able to be more encouraging to these boys, more compassionate, more loving. And I didn't even realize it until somebody after the meeting had said to me, you know, boy, that was great what you did with those guys. And it didn't even occur to me, it just happened. And that's the kind of things, I do it without knowing it
It's the best.
at first, so. And, that's when it clicked that my mind came back to the class and the practice and all that. So I am changing.
Yeah. You know, when you do anything, I think the great analogy is to use a musician. You know, you can look at a musician and they're playing the instrument and they're singing and they're playing it. And it's like the instrument is just an extension of their body. They're not even really thinking about playing the instrument anymore. It's become so unconscious and so practiced that they don't even have to think about doing it anymore. And so for you to have a moment like that, where you were the instrument of God, God was playing you, and you were there to be played, and you weren't even thinking about it. And then afterwards someone said, wow, that was a wonderful song you played as that instrument, well done. And you're looking at it going, well, I wasn't even really thinking about doing it. That's the ultimate sign that the practice of living is becoming, you know, a permanent part of how you operate. Like that's the best. That's the biggest compliment that anyone can give you, is that you weren't even thinking about it. It was totally unconscious. You were just totally, thy will was being done. You were just totally in the moment, surrendered, being used as an instrument, and you didn't even think about it. So, I mean, congratulations, Andy. That's a very significant awareness that someone brought to your attention. That's the best.
Good, I felt good for the rest of the day.
Amen to that. No. Anyone else have any other comments before we decide what we're going to do with the rest of our class? Going once, going twice, sold. All right, so let's grab a book here and see what we're supposed to spend our time together doing.
There's extra books here.
Okay. So this is a really, this kind of goes right along with what we're talking about. And it's page 105. And we're going to start right with see yourself. Actually, let's start from the beginning of that page. And let's just read and get the general idea that life is not out to get us. It's out to bless us, teach us, heal us. Allow it, and it will heal you of what ails you. Life will put an end to your suffering and lead you into a greater space of peace, love, and fullness. Life will heal you. Use your free will to adopt choiceful surrender as your modus operandi. Turn to life, to God, with humility and gratitude, and say, thy will. See yourself, others, everyone, and everything as life. As you move more and more into choiceless surrender, you will have no choice but to love yourself, everyone, and everything. You and I are not humans first. We are life first and eternally. Never will you understand the magnificence that is life. But that will no longer bother you. It will be okay. Because you've surrendered to life's will. And what does life intend? Only good. This is the practice. Let's take an example of someone you love who is now angry at you. If you cannot unconditionally love and unconditionally accept this person's anger, and you respond with anger, what is your first task? To unconditionally love and accept yourself in your disharmony. Then to remember that life only intends good. Then to remember thy will and choiceless surrender, to learn the lesson life is teaching you. Then to be grateful for the opportunity to unconditionally love and accept yourself and the other. As you practice, over a greater and greater number of experience and respond with choiceless surrender, responding in unconditional love will eventually become your first option. Okay? This is, again, so I never tire of the importance that the unfolding of life shows us. So Andy just talks about this exact thing happening in his life. We turn to the exact page where it's described. You know, in that moment, okay, was there any conscious choice to do any of that, Andy?
No,
No.
it was just what came out.
It was just what came out. Okay. So it's, again, we talked about, the last time I was with you, we're talking about this whole moving into more of an intuitive way of living. And how do we get into that more intuitive space? And we talked about the removal and the release of emotional reaction patterns. And then we talked about the, continuing to remind ourselves that life is good. There's an order to it. And now we're seeing things like this happen. In the absence of free will, in the absence of his making choices, he found himself doing exactly what he would have meant to do, exactly the way he was meant to do it. In the absence of a situation that you had any control over, okay, you were able to find yourself having the exact experience you needed to have with the exact people you needed to have it in a way that was way beyond any level of choice that you possibly had.
I didn't think about the control part. That's big.
Right.
Because I had no control.
Right.
I'm
So,
not really usually very good at that.
right. You're getting a lot better at it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just look. Let's look at the whole notion of how comfortable is everybody getting with not needing to understand how all of it works. How's everyone getting with that? If 0 is very uncomfortable and 10 is really comfortable, where are you at, Mary Lou, with not having to understand how it all works?
Probably between 8 and 9, yeah, really.
Pam, where are you at?
Most days are 8 or 9. Sometimes it has to do with kids. It's like 3 or 4.
Okay. Why do you think it goes to a 3 or a 4 when you're dealing with kids? What comes up for
I
you?
feel so responsible.
Okay. All right. So this is a big pattern I've been finding in working with. It sounds like I'm being wordy, but I'm trying to be accurate with consciousness that happens to be in a female form this time around. Okay. The mothering instinct, okay, is a very, very, very strong instinct. It's a very unconscious instinct, and it's very protective, and it's a very responsible instinct. Okay? Because of its need to be that way for the procreation of our species, especially it's strong in every species. But when you think about the length, okay, at which a human child is completely vulnerable to attack. First of all, it has to be carried for 9 months, which in and of itself may not be that long, although it could feel long if I were a woman carrying one for that long, and I don't have a memory of that in this lifetime. But the point is, after it's born, how long that child gets to the point before it can take care of itself, okay? I mean, just take care of itself, not take care of itself without a mother around. It's an incredibly long period of time. Some would say that, it lasts well into the upper teens and low 20s. Okay? Some would say it might even last a little longer. I think it is a variable. But what I'm helping women do, and when this comes up in our business, is I'm helping them to to understand that they have the right to start detaching from the mothering instinct and not feel irresponsible. That the mothering instinct was really made for when you had control over the situation. And what you have to do is you have to consciously detach from a level of the mothering instinct as you have less and less control over the environment of the child that you're having it for.
And you're bringing up something that is really, really intense, because I spend a great deal of time with a 28-month-old and a 6-month-old. And the 28-month-old, his mission in life is to annihilate the 6-month-old. And it's worse when you come back, you laugh, Andy, when you come back and they're grandchildren and not your children. There's an even greater sense of responsibility, because your children have put their faith in you to spend hours and days with them. And I've seen the pattern of the 28-month-old. If I turn my back for 1 minute and the baby's now crawling, he will try to run the baby over with a riding toy, okay? And that is like panic in my heart. And I've detached from my own children, but going back now to grandchildren, it's even more intense.
Yeah. And it's very, and remember that, you know, we talk about this in the book, but we've also talked about it in the classes, and I think we've even talked about it in these classes, that, you know, that creates a whole endocrine reaction. That's a whole, that takes your whole body into a place.
Exhaustion.
It's exhaustion. It takes you to exhaustion. So a part of the level of, it's important to know that on some level, the level of anger and frustration that you start to feel is because of the level of exhaustion that you're experiencing in dealing with the situation itself. That, you know, it's not always a weakness in your being or your person. There's a physical equation involved, and you know, when you're doing other things, when you're working and you're taking care of clients and you have a whole life, and then you're trying to do this with these children, you know, a lot of times, you know, women have to accept the fact that they just run out of energy. But the difference with what I see many times with the difference between a woman and a man is when a woman runs out of energy when she's dealing with a child, she doesn't. She goes deeper and deeper and deeper into these reserves of energy, because the mothering instinct will not let her say, you need to rest, go to sleep, it'll be all right. Even if that's true, the mothering instinct will not let that happen. So regardless of any situation you're in, okay, you can get yourself into that level of energetic imbalance and depletion over a child. That experience, okay, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like there's order. It doesn't feel like it's all going to work out, because the nature of how that mothering instinct sees things is it sees it from a point of danger, risk. It doesn't line up with being meditative and relaxed.
The other comment that I would say about that is, so everybody has an opinion about how you're mothering. And if that's also another front that it feels like is judging me, so not only my own instinct, but also the outside is saying, you know, your kid just left and you don't even know where they're at, and what's that about, you know, and oh shit, did I do something wrong, you know?
Right.
When I can't handle that, they have to go, they have to do whatever.
That's right.
Or I'm choosing not to pay attention to that because I can't,
That's right.
you know, so it's been a work. I mean, I've got 3, you know, she's the last one, so, you know, and she comes here. she knows all about us, you know,
Right.
but it's still that, like you said, that almost that unconscious immediately, you know, and I have to do more and more and more and more, and it is exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
And you have to honor that it is, you know, and you have to honor it, especially at this point in the game, that she's not a 6-month-old child who's waking in the middle of the night, that where you have control over the variables. You have to honor the level of control you have over the situation and dial down that mothering instinct with your conscious nature and say, you know what, I only have control over this aspect of things, and I'm doing everything I can with the control that I have to give her the best opportunities I can. But ultimately, she's beyond my ability to protect. She's beyond my ability to control. And as a parent, you know, you often are hesitant to admit that, okay? That your child is beyond your ability to control, because you feel like on some level that's like a cop-out, and but the reality is, when your child goes to school, when your child leaves home and is not with you for 8 hours a day, okay, you have pretty much lost a great deal of control over what's going on. You're not in charge of all their decisions. You become more of an influence, okay, and you have rules and regulations, but you are not you're not able to control them the way you did when you were holding them in your arms and you were playing with them all day long. And it's important for women, whether they're dealing with their children, their grandchildren, or their teachers, okay? You have to have a conscious awareness around this instinct, or it will, it's a very strong one. And honestly, what I help a lot of women go through with this is, when they go through their menopausal change, and they really get to the end of the hormonal energy of being a mother, and I help them realize, hey, listen, having a child is not a sentence. You brought a child into the world, you did the best you could to get that child into its adult phase, you've given it the best you can up until that point. You have to let yourself off the hook. You have to begin shutting these programs down consciously, and giving yourself permission to feel good about shutting them down.
And you know, you're bringing up a very important point. 2 years ago, when Liam was born, I was making all kinds of decisions based on his grandchild. Today, I am proud to announce I am not a professional grandmother. I don't want to be. When my relief comes at 8 o'clock on Sunday night, it's like, I'm out of here, okay? And then I sleep for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but the other thing too is, and Pam, the only thing I'll say is that when they get older and they're adults, they will come back and they will tell you, you did a great job. The child will, okay? And, you know, that's wonderful about it. But yes, to be able to say, 2 years with this child, he's wonderful, he's intelligent, he's charming, but you know what? I'm not your mother, and I'm not gonna be here all the time. And when you're talking about people judging, I have the other grandmother who devotes her 2 days off, evenings, everything. She is over there all the time. And that bothered me for a short time, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I do my thing, I do my share, I love being with them, but I'm not their full-time caretaker.
Again, balance.
Mhm.
Balance. So be aware of that, you know. Be aware of that instinct within you, and remember, our instincts are there for protective and procreative reasons, okay? They're not there to tell us what to do. They're not there to guide us in our everyday decisions. They're not there to run our lives. They're too much. They're full of too much intensity to be used as regular guidance tools. So be conscious about that, you know, when you're dealing with your kids and whatever age they are. One of the things I said to parents a long time ago when I would help parents deal with their kids is I would say, always make sure you're updating your parent files. Always make sure you're updating the file that you're running, how you're parenting your kids on. Always make sure you're aware of how old they are. Are you parenting them based on their age now? Are you parenting them based on their abilities now? It's an updating process. You know, you have to keep updating it all the time so that when you are with your child, you're being with them as they are now, and you're not overdoing nurturing behavior that could be stagnating them or stopping them from taking on their own journey and growing and learning. And on the other end, you're not seeing them as being beyond what they really are. But keep updating your files. Keep updating your files. Most of the time, parents get caught in files when their kids are too young, and they don't let themselves have a life, you know, and their children become their life. And I love my children. My children are a wonderful part of my life, okay? But they're a part of my life. They're a part of my life. And I think because they're a part of my life, there's a level of balance with that situation. So that was it. Yeah.
I would be interested in whether you've observed another kind of protective instinct behavior in the male population because of our history of being, they're the breadwinner.
Yes,
They're the
that's
ones
it.
who have to take care of everyone. make sure everyone's provided for.
Yes.
And God bless you if you threaten their family, because then they'll go into the fight mode. Have you
Yes,
served?
without a doubt. And that exactly is what we call it. We call it the provider instinct. Okay? So it's, a lot of times women are judged on how are you taking care of the children, okay? How are the children? And think about this. Women who have children are many times feeling judged on how their children are turning out, okay? We all know that you have a strong influence and you're important, but, you know, you're not always, yeah, exactly, you're not always the problem. Well, yeah. Men are very much judged by their ability to provide. Okay, so, which again, isn't fair. You know, are they able to provide? Well, then all of a sudden, when you have women that want to go to work, okay, or want to continue to have a career, well, then a lot of men feel threatened by that because now they're not seen as the one who's providing.
Or somebody more stable than.
Or more stable dads, yeah. You know, who actually may be the better one to stay at home, okay? But because of these old paradigms, they feel like that's an inadequacy, like there's a shame in that, okay? As many times, Kat, I've had to help women overcome incredible guilt and shame over putting their children in daycare and going to work. And they genuinely love what they do at work. They genuinely don't really have a problem, okay, but they're giving themselves a problem. Because all it takes is another woman with a different opinion to say, oh, that must be so hard to leave your kids at work. And again, it's like that class we had about what happens when you're not sad at a funeral anymore, okay? You kind of feel out of place there, right? So for her to say, actually, you know what, I'm really comfortable leaving my kids at daycare and going to work. That almost sounds like, yeah, like, oh, how can you say that? When really it's just a woman who's in a place of consciousness where she can deal with the balance of being a worker and contributing to the family and wanting a life outside of her kids. And excuse me, I am very much a believer in the fact that not every woman is meant to stay at home with kids all day long. I think a lot of times when women force themselves to do that and they're not made for it, they end up causing a lot of problems.
But the paradigm is shifting.
Thank God.
It's shifting because I'm seeing now with my son, where his wife makes a considerable amount more money than he does.
Good for her.
And that's what he says, okay? But he grew up with a working mother. He grew up in daycare, okay? And now that the 28-month-old is now being farmed out for 3 mornings a week, just to get him out of the house. He really is. He needs stimulation because he's going to annihilate the baby, okay? But the point is that the children pick it up, and from the time he was 4, he was in daycare because I was a single parent at that time. And his approach is totally different. He basically will help around the house. He does it automatically. And he has a different approach to the children, too. She's very nurturing, loving, permissive, okay? Where he walks in and just by the tone of the voice, Liam will stop what he's doing. I can talk to him all day being gentle and natural, and he will go in the refrigerator and get eggs out and crack them open with a hammer. And I mean, a toy hammer, okay? Because he's
That makes it better.
He's such a 2-year-old.
Oh my God, he's cooking, okay? You go to the bathroom, you take that, but he was cooking. He had an egg on his craftsman. He has a child's craftsman workbench. And he has a toy hammer. I went into the bathroom, baby was in the packing place, so he was safe. I come out and he goes, Grum Jan, eggs. Would you like me to fix you an egg, Liam? No, I fixed it. And he smashed the egg on the workbench. So, I mean, but the point is the paradigm is shifting because the male role in their household is equal, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's very nurturing, but very expecting. His expectations are different with his father than it is with his mother.
Yeah, and again, it's all for the better, because, you know, a lot of times what you'd happen is as a couple would go through the aging process, and heaven forbid, the woman would happen to die before the man. Okay, well, these, you know, the men of older society, they're helpless. They don't know how to cook, they don't know how to take care of themselves. I mean, they really, as much as they might have been good providers, they don't know how to provide for themselves. They don't know how to take care of themselves. They could go out and work, but that doesn't mean they could cook a meal for themselves. So, it was an unsustainable model. You know, as much as it was good for where it was, it's not sustainable. And we're seeing that. Finally, we're seeing that.
So if men and women both don't take the time to take care of themselves, how do we break that cycle? I mean, I think it's more a human thing than it is just men doing this and women doing this, because maybe it's our culture. Maybe in other cultures, they do self-care. I have a really hard time putting myself first.
Yeah.
And I live by myself.
Yeah.
And I've been living by myself for a long time, but because of the pattern of taking care of other people, I have a hard time taking care of myself.
Well, I really see that pattern coming from, you know, there's been an incredible, and I don't want to, again, I'm not anti anything, okay? But the patterns of guilt and shame have really distorted what would be a healthier system. You know, I can't tell you how many people who I've talked to about taking care of themselves, and they say, I just never get to it, I feel guilty doing things for myself, I feel like I should do things for other people first. I mean, it's the same thing you're saying. And so it is a cultural pattern, and the only place that would really, you know, kind of stem from is this feeling of that we're somehow wrong for loving ourselves. We're somehow doing something wrong by making ourselves a priority. You know, even though we have tons of physical and emotional disease that shows us that is completely wrong. That those people who take care of themselves, those people who include themselves in their health and their well-being and do things that make themselves happy every day and do things that they find joy in, some of them helping others, some of them for themselves, that they live longer, they're healthier, they're happier, okay? It hasn't gotten into the cultural center yet. It really hasn't. And I think it's been worse in this country because of the nature of our country, the youth of our country has been so based in possession and acquisition, that it's been more important to acquire and possess things than it has been to be healthy. That to acquire and possess good health and spiritual well-being has somehow slid down the list after what you drive, how much you have, where you live, when in reality you can look at situations where people had far less when they were immigrants, far less, and they were far happier, they lived far more fulfilling lives, they had more time for their family, they had more time for the things that were important, that in many ways they may not have lived quite as long in some cases, but they lived a more fulfilling community-based life, which is now more into isolation, you know, living separate lives. Which again, it's not what we're made to do. We're made to live in community. So all of these things have contributed to what you're talking about, Kat. The disintegration, in many ways, the disintegration of our society from a group into individuals. It's ironic that the more we've become self-centered, okay, the more it's been about me, the less we're taking care of ourselves. That you would think on some level, like the more it was me, the more we would take time to take care of me, right? But really it hasn't gone that way. The more narcissism, or the more narcissistic we've become, the less good we've been to ourselves. We've usually poured more of that time and energy into acquiring, addiction, coping, depression.
Maybe people don't stop long enough to hear the good news.
I think that's a big part of it. I think it's a big part
Because
of
you
it.
can't, if your monkey brain is working on what you're going to acquire next, or looking on the computer at what you can buy, or what house you should move to, or what car, you're never giving yourself a chance to hear your real voice inside.
Which is again, a big thing that we're talking about with, you know, which is this practice, this awakening the intuition, you know, getting into a calm, quiet place, letting yourself settle down, and see what you start to become aware of once you do that. So all these roles and all this structure, you know, it's all breaking down. You know, thank God. A lot of the religious structure is breaking down. A lot of these political structures are breaking down. A lot of the behavioral structures are breaking down. So it's pretty fun to watch it happening across the board. I mean, it really is. There isn't any area that isn't being touched. Financial systems, everything's being affected and changed, and everything's has either reached its end and is going through transformation, or is very closely reaching its end and will go through transformation. So we're existing in a very wonderful time of change, and thank goodness, you know, we live in a country that allows us, relatively speaking, more freedom to go through the transitions that other countries might. So we have that advantage as well.
It shouldn't have changed, so I've seen
Of course.
people in doing, well, obviously it's coming from myself, but in watching Pam do the practice and noticing people, it seems like the practice takes you out of that fatalistic, like this is how your life is going to be, this is your role.
Yeah.
And moving us just so kind of the other half of that reading was, rather than staying in that fatalistic, I've made a mistake, this is my lot in life, or I've hurt someone, I can't ever make that up. I was told a long time ago, those things can change. You just have to go back, kind of step by step, go back, and then deal with the situation more intuitively, and say, you know, so I didn't handle this with the kid this way correctly the first time, but I've seen over and over again with Pam, where it's not about whether she handled it right, she handled it one way, and she was able to get the opportunity again to relive that situation, and instead of turning it into a situation where it's negativity and guilt and blame, it turns into a situation of healing, and they say, oh, I don't have to be that way, I can do it this way. And so for the next generation, which is what's going to change, she's the example of someone that can, quote unquote, or even me or anybody, this is dealing with anybody that you meet in society, where you might scream at them, or some of you might give the finger driving down the road. The next time, you don't have to do it that way. So that choice turns it into, from a fatal situation, into a situation that can change, it can heal.
That's right.
And then it expands out from there. It's that ripple.
That's right. And that's very well said. And a great example of that is the power of nature itself. You know, once you stop doing something to purposefully disrupt the balance of nature and you just leave it alone, it naturally goes back into a healing cycle. It naturally changes and regenerates. You know, almost, I mean, unless it's past the point of return, which most of the time nature amazes us with how it's almost never past that point of no return.
Just like, so the fires and everything, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you know, growth starts to happen again.
Yeah.
And it's just right there.
It comes back. So, I mean, I totally agree with you that the practice gives us all a chance to say, if you just do this, what can change?
Because I grew up in a lifetime where, I don't know, but I was old style, I suppose, raised in that was, this is what you did, you screwed this up, you have to live with this for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to be that way.
Wow.
It is, you know, that's a big thing, a big relief on your soul, on your spirit, to not feel like that's what I have to live with for the rest of my life, so that's my lot.
You know, and that's why I've always been so open about my life and my experiences. You know, that I never really thought I would ever be anybody that would have this experience. You know, and so if it's possible for me, it's possible for anyone. You know, and I think that's what you're starting to say, and you're saying, and you're saying, and that's the momentum we're trying to create with this class and with these teachings. that's what you're saying. Like, I never believed it was possible for me to have that experience the way it did, but I did. If it's possible for Kat, then it's possible for everybody who had a difficult childhood with their mother, everybody who had issues with sexual orientation, everybody who had all the same crap you had, right? If it's possible for you to have that experience with everything you've gone through, then it's possible for someone else who's had that experience to have what you had happen. If it's possible for you to have that experience, okay, or you with everything you've gone through, it's possible for anybody who's had that experience to then have it, because there's no difference between someone else who's gone through the experiences you've gone through, okay, and you. If you can do it, anyone can do it. If you can do it, anyone can do it. And that's the power of what we're doing, you guys. If you can be a single mother and raise a child and do all the wonderful things you've done and get to this place in your life, then you know what, that makes you an incredible example of possibility for anyone else who comes after you. And the big, this is why the work with the Practice 501c3 continues to go forward. You know, I'm continuing to develop the business plan, I'm continuing to develop all the mission statements around everything we're doing, and it's moving forward because it's, to me, it's so important that we use the structure that's going to be developed in the Practice nonprofit, which is the Library of Life Experience. It's so important that we start capturing these stories and documenting them and leaving them behind for other people. It's important that we once again begin to capture the stories of our experiences, which would have been normally passed on from generation to generation because the family unit was kept together. And now that it's not, you know, now that there's disintegration of the family unit, the development of this library of experience that's happening through the practice is going to begin to document and hold these stories that everyone can be inspired. And what I really see it doing is I really see it being used as a form of global mentorship. That, you know, we need to establish a global mentorship program. And what I see the Library of Experience and the practice becoming is really just a form of global mentorship that we are, whether we know it or not, we are mentoring other individuals into a space of consciousness that they would not believe or know was possible. And we're doing it by being it. We're speaking about it, okay? But we're speaking about it because we're being it and it's happening. We're not speaking about what we're gonna do. We're speaking about what's happening. So we're not offering them something in a space of faith. We're offering them something in a space of, listen, this is what happened since I've been doing this. This is what happened since I've been doing this. This is what happened since I've been doing this. And so it's not something that we're holding out there that isn't real. We're telling them that this is my story, this is where I came from, this is what I've practiced, this is what's happening, and it'll happen for you too if you practice it. And so we're already developing this energy of mentoring already.
You know, it's really interesting you say that because this week, I don't talk to the people at work very much. Well, we don't have a lot of chance to talk, but I come across as very stern just because I do, that's my persona. I have told more people about my angels in that car experience this week, and none of them looked at me crazy. I mean, I just said, I prefaced it with, I believe in angels, and I've got to tell you about all the angels that showed up when my radiator blew. And they're treating me differently, or I'm treating them differently. I'm not sure
Same thing.
which it is.
But they're looking at you now as human rather than stern, because they can relate that if you had your radiator blow and you still showed up at work, you're not so stern. They're seeing the softer, warmer, gentler side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The common thread is coming through even more and will continue coming through even more.
What?
The common thread has come through, but it will continue coming through even more for, you know, for everybody or anything they experience like that.
So just remember, whatever you're choosing to practice, changing something, doing something different, trying to do it better, trying to improve on it, I always want to enforce this in all of you. You're not just doing it for yourself. Yes, your life is better and those around you are better because you're doing it. But it transcends that. You know, you're accepting a role of leadership in this space of consciousness. you're accepting a role saying, I want to be something that helps other people's lives be better. I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that positive change. And like you said, Greg, to have the option to go from being, this is it, this is how it's going to be, and you're going to live it out, to the awareness of conscious incarnation, where through a change and enlightenment, you can now have the opportunity to become someone who is not only no longer incarcerated in a lifetime, you are now someone who's bringing positive change and helping other people's lives be better. And to know that through this work that has the possibility to happen in a moment, I do think that's profound and inspirational. And I think it can give a lot of people a lot more reasons to wake up in the morning and try and do something a little different, because there are examples in the world that say it can work. We are totally out of time tonight, so we're going to do something we don't normally do. We're going to skip our chamber tonight, but our discussion was so connected, and I really appreciate everybody chiming in. So this was just the way this went. So thank you all for being with us.
And next week?
Yeah, next week class is not going to be happening. I am going to be, I'm going to be playing a scramble with my son who made the golf team, so I'm going to be playing golf with my kid. And I talked to Sarah and Carla, and we're just going to take a little break. And so we're all going to take a week off, and then we're going to get together the week after that and continue our practice. So everybody who's watching, thank you for being here, and everyone who came, thank you